खत्म हो गई मतलब क्या?
नमस्कार, दी इंडिया हिंदी में आपका स्वागत है। बॉलीवुड अभिनेता इरफान खान के फैंस को परेशान करने वाली खबर सामने आई है। आपको बता दें, पिछले लंबे वक्त से मुंबई की कोकिलाबेन अस्पताल में भर्ती इरफान खान की तबीयत बिगड़ने के कारण आईसीयू में शिफ्ट।
You have claimed that terrorists are out to give Islam a bad name with their activities, and you have said that mercy and compassion are the basis of Islam. So should Muslims stay quiet and Islam be maligned, or should they actively try to correct the wrong ideas of Islam? Why do you believe that some Muslims or Muslims have been silent? I ask you this because there has been widespread condemnation from within the Muslim community, certain section of the Muslim community, including clerics, etc., to your comment. And there has also been enough condemnation from within the Muslim community over terrorism as well.
There is a large chunk of Muslim population who are going against terrorism, who are fighting terrorism, and we only see Muslims in India who are we don't see the whole picture. There are a huge chunk of people, Muslim population, who are fighting against terrorism. But that, how much it makes news, I don't know. But when you go abroad, when you listen to different channels, you come to know that there are people who are fighting against it, and there are people who are trying to put Islam the way they have understood in a right perspective. The way I have understood Islam is through some incidents, and there are delicate experiences which teaches you these huge philosophies which have multi layers. It's not single dimensional layer. That's why it continues for years and years. So my Islam, what I've been taught was, I heard a few incidents like Yunus alayhi salam, जब उनकी body उनका आजमाइश का time आया, he has maggots in his body. वो मैगेट जब नीचे गिर जाते थे, वो उनको उठा के अपने बजिस्म में रखते थे कि बेटा तू कहाँ जा रहा है, मैं तो तेरा खाना हूँ। तो मैगेट्स उनको अपना खाना थे। इतना एक्सेप्टेंस, इतना सबमिशन फॉर द लव ऑफ गॉड, फॉर सीकिंग गॉड. There is two aspects of any religion, of every religion. There is an aspect of practice, the rituals, and there is an aspect of discovery, finding, inquiry. When the inquiry and the finding and the discovery goes, when you stop seeking, then the practices takes over.
So who are the Muslims you believe are guilty of this silence that you speak of?
People when they don't understand the real, when people who are just doing practices for, see, there's another aspect of religion where it boils down to transaction. When you do practice, you will get this reward. When the whole religion, whole philosophy boils down to this transaction, then you don't get the real understanding. When you don't have the real understanding, you don't know what to say.
So when you speak of the need to correct the wrong ideas of Islam, why and who do you blame for propagating these wrong ideas? What are these wrong ideas that you were speaking of?
Ideas which are just become transactional. You do this and you will get this. The seeking part has been eliminated. The mysterious part has been eliminated. You have to discover yourself. You have to discover God through these practices. These practices are made to shine your soul, to discover yourself. All these rituals, in every religion, rituals are made to discover yourself.
True.
When the discovery is gone, when the seeking is gone, the practices can be manipulated.
And it's happening in Islam?
With every religion is happening. When you need when the politics and the religion, that's how the religion is used. In politics, when you take away the seeking part of the religion, when it becomes only transactional, actions, duties and reward, then it's used.
You have questioned how the message behind the practice of rituals during Muharram, as well as the sacrifice of a goat during Bakrid, is not being understood by people who practice them. What do you mean when you say that? You've even said And the reason we're asking you this today is not to, I'm not interrogating you, but I want to understand, because most people in the world of cinema, especially in India, are quiet. They want to stay out of controversy. You went and said instead of fasting during Ramzan, people should introspect.
Yeah.
Right, and many people have taken objection to that particular comment, right? And people on the program. Why did you say that? What made you say that?
I was very young.
आपने क्यों कहा ये?
I was very young. I was 7 years old. I used to wait for namaz time. I used to cry for that time, and I kept roza, and I was flying kite at my terrace. My father came and he kept his hand on my head and he said कि बेटा ख्यालों का भी रोज़ा होता है, thinking का रोज़ा होता है. फिर उन्होंने मेरी माँ से कहा कि ये भी रोज़े के लिए तैयार नहीं है, इससे भी मत रखवाओ. What he said I didn't know. मैंने कहा नहीं, मुझे तो रखना है, मैं तो रखूँगा. उन्होंने कहा नहीं, अभी तुम रेडी नहीं हो. तो now I understand why he said that. I understand the real meaning of that. It's a meditation to discover yourself, to find God, to seek God.
And you said also, and this is also what has upset some people, you said, now there'll be two kinds of reactions to what you're saying, Irfan. There'll be some people who'd say you've spoken too much. और पहला रिएक्शन तो ये
मेरा वर्जन है सर, मैं कोई इस्लाम पे अथॉरिटी नहीं, आई एम नॉट अथॉरिटी इन इस्लाम. जो मैंने समझा है इस्लाम को जिस तरह से, वो मैं बता रहा हूँ.
इरफान देखिए, वो वहाँ पे मौलाना अब्दुल वाहिद खातरी हैं, वो जमात उलेमा हिंद है, उनका कमेंट था, इट विल बी बेटर इफ इरफान फोकसेस ऑन हिज फिल्म करियर एंड डज नॉट मेक रैंडम स्टेटमेंट्स ऑन आवर रिलीजन. ही इज डूइंग दिस एज पब्लिसिटी फॉर हिज अपकमिंग मूवी. This was his comment on what you said, to which you said in response that I am not scared of clerics. Thank God I don't live in a country governed by religious contractors, ठेकेदार्स.
जी.
Do you hold, and I am asking you in the presence of a mufti, I am asking this question, do you hold these clerics responsible for the way in which Islam is
not
perceived
everybody,
today?
Sir. A year back I was in बकरीद की नमाज पे मैं जहाँ मस्जिद में था. The मुफ्ती साहब, वहाँ के उस शहर के मुफ्ती साहब ने ये कहा कि जो बकरीद के पीछे असली मतलब समझो, उसका मकसद क्या है वो समझो. सवाब और फ़र्ज़ और सवाब को सीधा सीधा दुकानदारी मत बनाओ. ये नमाज में कहा गया है.
नहीं, I have few more questions. मैं पहले 3 और क्वेश्चन पूछूंगा, उसके बाद तस्लीम रहमानी, मोहनदा अस्पा, everyone can come into the debate. Irfan, since you're speaking of introspection, will you speak openly on the news hour today? Don't dodge any questions of mine.
Dodge nahi. I'll only say things which is
So do you believe that triple talaq is bad?
What that we'll discuss later.
Do you believe polygamy needs a reform?
See, I'm not an authority on how the Islam should be run. See, I can reflect as a personal whatever I understood through Islam. I have a personal opinion about this.
What's your personal opinion?
No, I don't want to talk about it right now because it will go somewhere else. एक तो पहले वैसे ही पीछे लगी हुई है controversy.
कौन पीछे लगी?
आप अरे controversy ये पीछे लग गई. इतने सारे चैनल चल रहे हैं, कोई आधी बात बता रहा है, कोई ये बता रहा है, कोई वो बता रहा है. अब एक और लगा देंगे आप मेरे पीछे.
आप
डिफेंसिव नहीं हूँ मैं आपसे बात करूंगा, बिल्कुल खुल के बात करूंगा. एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म तैयार करिए जहाँ के बात जैसी है वैसी ही पहुँचे. हम बिल्कुल करेंगे.
मैं कह रहा हूँ कि अगर हाजी अली दरगाह में women should be allowed to enter the sanctum sanctorum. This man sitting to our left does not feel so. I've been fighting with him for the last 4 months, Mufti Sahab, with you on this. He feels they should not be allowed to enter. What do you feel, Irfan? What do you feel? I'm not trying to corner him, but what do you feel?
नहीं, मैं कौन होता हूँ ये बोलने वाला कि दरगाह में कौन घुसे ना घुसे? मैं कौन होता हूँ? सिटीजन हूं तो मेरे पास बहुत सारे और भी मसले हैं इतने बोलने के लिए. जहां दरगाह में कोई घुसे ना घुसे.
Are you on the back foot because of the criticism?
नहीं, मैं बोलना नहीं चाहता इस प्लेटफॉर्म.
क्यों नहीं बोलना चाहता?
क्योंकि मुझे पता है कि ये बात ऐसी की ऐसी नहीं रहेगी. ये बात घूम फिर के पता नहीं क्या बन जाएगी.
That's the problem. You see, the problem is that even Irfan, and now Taslim Rahmani is smiling because in what you just said, Taslim Rahmani feels a sense of power. He believes that at the end of it, we will put so much pressure even on Irfan.
नहीं, मैं आपको नहीं, आप मुझे मजबूर मत करिए. मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ
he's a film star.
मैं एक कॉमन सेंस की बात कर रहा हूँ कि आपकी जब शादी हुई तो आपने रिटर्न एक हुआ
जी.
हमने लिखते हैं ना, रिकॉर्ड में लिखते हैं ना, काई साहब आते हैं. तो ये जब आप जुदा हो रहे हैं तब वो क्यों ना हो, तब रिटर्न क्यों ना हो? ये कॉमन सेंस की बात है
जी. Are you and did you also say that sacrificing a goat during Eid, during Bakr Eid, is an outdated belief that should be done?
No, not outdated. I am saying that seek the real purpose of कुर्बानी. कुर्बानी करते वक्त आपका दिल दुखता है, आपके अंदर आपका सबमिशन का एक सेंस होता है. आप सबमिट करते हो टू ऑलमाइटी। अगर वो सेंस जाग नहीं रहा है तो क्या कुर्बानी करना से आपकी सोल पे कोई फर्क पड़ेगा? मैं ये पूछ रहा हूँ सवाल।
Well, I think he has gone as far as I've seen a person from the world of cinema go. Most people don't even say this much. Now, I think responses, the responses are coming in now. Taslim Rahmani wants to say something to you. Taslim Rahmani wants to say something to you. Taslim, what do you disagree with?
I will first quote. I will first quote two couplets from Nida Fazli. He was also a famous poet in Mumbai. He died few months back. That he said once, घर से मस्जिद है बहुत दूर, चलो यूं कर लें किसी रोते हुए बच्चे को हंसाया जाए. Then another couplet he said, बच्चा बोला देख के मस्जिद आली शान, एक अल्लाह के रहने को इतना बड़ा मकान. दोनों couplet, both are very nice couplets, but what they denotes, they are against the ongoing rituals of Islam. I think the poet want to say that no need to go to masjid for praying namaz. It's better that you keep happy a child and it's equal to namaz. The same tone, our brother this Irrfan Bhai is trying to tell us that you can avoid the rituals. Okay, Irrfan Bhai, you have your own.
No, I'm not saying you can avoid the ritual.
You can have studied Islam.
I'm not saying you can avoid the ritual.
No, voice.
I'm not saying you can avoid the ritual. I'm saying seek the purpose behind it.
I understood you. I understood you very well. Let me complete Irrfan. I understood you very well, and I don't know how many times you have studied Quran and its commentaries and etc. and hadith and so many other sources of Islam. I don't know how much do you.
No, I think you're being touchy.
That's not my concern.
No, I think you're being touchy. Let's get Mohandas Pai.
Personally on you.
No, Mohandas Pai is Taslim Rahmani getting touchy. You know what is the issue? No, Taslim Rahmani. You see, if you,
I just want to ask him. I just want to ask him one thing. This is your own idea. Why you want that every Muslim should practice it? They have their own ideas of Islam. Okay, rituals should be performed with all the responsibility and sense of ritual. Somehow,
no, you are
100 years, those
no. One second. Look at the issue.
But that doesn't mean
no. Taslim Rahmani, listen. Irrfan is correct when he talks about the need for introspection, because there is a genuine fear, right, of people like Zakir Naik trying to hijack and say that we represent Islam. These kind of people like Zakir Naik command a significant following at home and overseas. It's a worrying trend that a series of terrorists have sought inspiration from this Zakir Naik's words. Now, let's get Mohandas Pai into the debate, then I'll open up to those in the studio. Mohandas Pai, on what Irrfan said. Mohandas Pai.
We cannot claim that only.
Okay, we'll have Irrfan in the middle. Let's hear the other side.
Mohandas
Mohandas Pai.
It's not a religion. It's a way of life.
No.
वजह दीजिएगा तस्लीम साहब से एक वक्त दीजिएगा.
मोहनदास पाई बोले, उसके बाद इरफान. हाँ जी, गो ऑन. यस मिस्टर पाई.
Annab, I totally agree with Irrfan on what he has said. Islam is indeed a religion of peace if you read the right verses. There are some verses which give a different meaning, which are being used by some people who are acting as terrorists and killing innocent people, and I cannot believe that those verses are right verses. But it is a religion of peace largely, and it is time that everybody accepted that. And when it comes to certain religious practices like sacrificing dumb animals to prove your fidelity and to prove your ability to accept God, then I think is a practice which has no right in a civilized society.
Mufti is here.
In the Hindu religion, in certain parts of India, people sacrifice dumb animals and slaughter them in public. This is not an acceptable practice. We have gone beyond medieval concepts. We are in the 21st century, and killing by individuals of dumb animals in street and in houses is not acceptable in any civilized part. And it's time that all of us, of whatever religious persuasion,